Hey, thanks for dropping in. As a home cook, simple and delicious one-pan meals are kind of the holy grail of family dinners. And in today's episode, I'm going to show you one of my absolute favorites. It's a mashup of two classics, and it's coming up next. Okay, so the two dishes we're combining today are chicken piccata, which is chicken breast that's fried until golden brown, then simmered in a buttery, lemony caper sauce, and rice pilaf, which is as much a technique as it is a dish, and comes in many different variations. We're going to start with a piccata, and the first thing we need to do is make a dredge for our chicken. And all that is AP flour, dried Italian seasoning, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Once that's mixed up, we'll add our chicken and make sure each piece is thoroughly coated. Now, piccata is classically made with chicken breast. As you can see, we're using thighs here. Not only that, these are bone-in and skin-on. The first is for flavor, because meat almost always tastes better when cooked on a bone, and the second is for presentation. If you want to go with boneless and or skinless, go right ahead. I would, however, advise against using breast, because that'll dry out. Once we're done, we can lay the chicken out on a tray for about 15 minutes. That'll give time for the dredge to rehydrate and really stick to the thighs. Next step is to fry the chicken. I got a couple of tablespoons of oil in the pan, not too much, and we'll lay the chicken in skin side down first. For this recipe, I strongly recommend using your largest nonstick pan. It doesn't have to be a wok like mine. This just happened to be my largest nonstick. But it will make your life infinitely easier once we get around to cooking the rice. We're going to give the chicken 12 minutes on this first side. Then we'll flip and give it another 8 minutes on the flesh side. Look at how beautiful that chicken is already. It's time to pull the chicken out. At this point, these thighs are about 75 to 80% cooked. They'll finish in the rice. Depending how much grease your chicken gave off, you may have to drain off a little bit of the excess oil from your pan. This doesn't actually look too bad, so we'll just keep going. Now we flip to the pilaf part of the recipe, and that starts with a little anchovy paste. This will add salt as well as a really beautiful depth of flavor. Pretty quickly we'll toss in some shallot. We'll mix these together and give it a minute for the shallot to soften. Next in go some really aromatic, punchy flavors, and that's garlic, capers, and sun-dried tomatoes. There's enough stuff in our pan, we don't really have to worry too much about the garlic burning. Still, this only needs another minute. Our aromatics are smelling aromatic. It's time for the rice. This is jasmine rice that's been thoroughly rinsed and allowed to drain. You definitely don't want to use short grain rice like arborio or carnaroli for this recipe. Those varieties have way too much starch in them, and we're not out to make a silky risotto. As usual for pilaf, we'll fry our rice in the aromatics for a little bit. This will give them a head start on cooking, as well as toast them a bit and give them a chance to absorb some flavor. Once our rice turns a little translucent, we can add our chicken stock. We can do this a couple of different ways. We can add store-bought stock, we can add homemade stock, or we can add this. Better than bouillon. If you're even a semi-regular viewer of this channel, you've probably seen me use this once or twice before. What we'll do is add a heaped teaspoon of it directly to our pan. Then we'll give it a good mix to make sure it's distributed evenly. Once we've done that, we can add plain cold water. For a long grain rice like jasmine, the ratio is 2-to-1 liquid to rice. We've got 1.5 cups of rice there, so we'll need 3 cups of water. We'll stir again, and that's it. We're not touching that rice again until it's cooked. Agitating the rice during the cooking process releases starch, which is the opposite of what we want to happen. The last thing we need to do is return our chicken. We'll lay it in gently, skin side / presentation side up. We want to submerge them enough that they'll braise as the chicken cooks, and they'll absorb even more flavor. But we don't want to submerge them completely and ruin that beautiful browning we worked so hard to get. Now we can put on a lid turn the heat down to low, and let this simmer for about 20 minutes, by the end of which everything should be thoroughly cooked. Alright, let's see what we got. That looks good. The chicken is definitely cooked by this point, and it looks like the rice has absorbed all our stock. It's time to turn our pilaf into piccata pilaf. Before we can do that though, we gotta take out the chicken. And we'll give our rice a toss to give it a quick fluff. Now there, you see that? The brown crust on the underside of the rice? That's called sokarat, and you find it most often with paella. It's basically caramelized rice and sauce, and it is ridiculously delicious. And it's the reason why I recommend using a non-stick pan for this dish, so that you can get all that goodness off the pan without any trouble. We're going to add classic piccata flavors to this rice, starting with both the rind and the juice of one lemon. I like to add the juice at the end so that it stays nice and bright. Next, chopped fresh parsley. And finally, butter, a couple generous tablespoons worth. Then it's a final toss to incorporate and get that butter melting. Of course, we got to give this a taste and make sure our seasoning's good. I'd say that's pretty much perfect. I'll see you at the table. And here we go, our one-pan chicken piccata with rice. Now, that's what I call a healthy portion. As I said in the intro, it's a delicious mashup of classics. There's tender, golden brown chicken, which, if you wanted, you could easily crisp up again. Just drop it in a hot pan for a few minutes. It'll be perfect. There's also briny capers, sunny lemon, meaty tomatoes, and fluffy, flavor-packed rice. This dish is an all-around winner. Now, normally, I'd give the plate a final garnish, but I don't think it needs one. Let's do the flyby. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons before you go. And as always, if you have any questions, suggestions, comments, drop them below. I'll see you next time.